My dear students, in this video, I will be talking about conversational skills. 11th class students, this question is asked in your exams and it may contain 5 marks. This is your first topic of section 2nd, that is communication skills from second book, that is language skills book. So I have divided this presentation into 4 parts. So, what do we mean by conversation? Well, I'm sure all of you are well aware about this term because this is something we do, in fact, all the time. Now, going through the definition, conversation is an oral exchange of sentiments, observations, opinions, or ideas. It's oral because we converse with each other, we use our mouth, that is, parts of the mouth, tongue, lips, hard palate, soft palate, teeth, ridge, etc. Anyways, we do not need to go in the articulation process. We can simply say a conversation is a talk in which two or more people exchange thoughts, feelings, or ideas, or in which news or information is given or discussed. I have added a picture here below. So while starting a conversation, when we start a conversation, be it about anything with anyone, we greet before going further. So we use conventional words in greeting. For example, hello, hi, how are you, good morning, good afternoon, salam janab, assalamu alaikum sir, salam madam, it's good to see you. And greeting gives a positive signal to communicate further. For example, if anyone just passes by your side without greeting you, then I guess you won't find it convenient to start a conversation. And greetings are returned in the same form with a slightly different intonation. That is, when somebody greets you, you will also greet him back. The difference may be just in terms of rise and fall of your voice. That is, for example, your friend says, how are you? Hey, how are you? And you will say, hey, hi, I'm good, how about you? So the greeting is returned back. The difference is just in terms of the rise and the fall of your voice. While greeting, we have to keep in mind the situation, that is whether the situation is formal or informal. The way you greet other person, of course, depends upon the relation you have with him or her. For example, you are talking to your teacher, then there is a formal relation between you and him, and you will greet accordingly. If you are talking to a friend, that's an informal situation, then you will greet accordingly. And now coming towards, yes, here is a conversation. A is saying, hello Imran, how are you? And the other person is replying, I'm fine, thanks. Then the other conversation is, the other way of greeting is, what a pleasure to see you, Mr. Zoshi. The other person replies, how about you, Khan? How are you keeping these days? The other conversation, hello, Mr. Cole. How are you? I'm well, thank you, doctor. Fourth, good morning, Mr. Parekh. Good morning, Mrs. John. What can I do for you? So there are different ways to greet people. Think of those other ways and practice with your siblings, with your friends. You can practice it at your home. So then, while this conversation, when you are about to end your conversation, uh, just as we talked about the beginning of conversation, how to greet, now while ending a conversation involves two steps: signaling that the conversation is coming to an end and the actual lead talk. For example, while conversing, you do not suddenly stop talking and say bye and leave abruptly. In formal situations, the senior person usually signals the end of a conversation, and in an informal situation, however, either speaker may end it. For example, in informal situation, one person says, it was really nice talking to you. The other says, yes, I enjoyed it too. Then he says, okay, then see you later. The other says, bye. And in formal situation, one person is saying, thank you so much for sparing your time. The other says, it has been a pleasure talking to you. So there is a difference in the greeting and as well as in ending a conversation, depends upon the situation and the relation you have with other person. So there are some commonly used expressions. For example, somebody has invited someone for a dinner or a lunch, then he says, thanks for a lovely meal. The other person says, my pleasure. Or two people have met, and then one says, I must really take leave now, the other says right then. Similarly, got to go now, drop in sometime, the other says yes I will. Or we must get together again soon, the other says sure we must. So you maybe you will be asked a question where you are asked to write a conversation between you and your friend about your new principal or teacher or something like that. So you will start with informal greetings because you are talking to a friend, and you will close your conversation accordingly. Thank you.